Direct News TV. Ukrainian military vows to hold Bakhmut as Russians close in. Chasiv Yar, Ukraine, AP, Ukrainian military leaders expressed determination Monday to hold on to Bakhmut as Russian forces encroached on the devastated eastern city they have sought to capture for 6 months at the cost of thousands of lives. Less than a week ago, an advisor to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said the defenders might retreat from Bakhmut and fall back to nearby positions. But Zelensky's office said Monday that he chaired a meeting in which top military brass spoke in favor of continuing the defense operation and further strengthening our positions in Bakhmut. Intense Russian shelling targeted the city in the Donetsk region and nearby villages as Moscow pressed a three-sided assault to try to finish off Bakhmut's resistance. The nearby towns of Chasiv Yar and Kostiantynivka came under heavy shelling, damaging cars and homes and sparking a fire. No casualties were immediately reported. Police and volunteers evacuated people from Chasiv Yar and other frontline towns in an operation made difficult by the loss of bridges and constant artillery fire that has left barely a house standing. Russian forces have been unable to deliver a knockout blow that would allow them to seize Bakhmut. Analysts say it does not hold major strategic value and that its capture would be unlikely to serve as a turning point in the conflict. The Russian push for Bakhmut reflects the Kremlin's broader struggle to achieve battlefield momentum. Moscow's full-scale invasion on February 24, 2022, soon stalled, and Ukraine launched a largely successful counteroffensive. Over the bitterly cold winter months, the fighting has largely been deadlocked. The city's importance has become mostly symbolic. For Russian President Vladimir Putin, prevailing there would finally deliver some good news from the front. For Kiev, the display of grit and defiance reinforces a message that Ukraine is holding on after a year of brutal attacks, justifying continued support from its Western allies. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin endorsed that view Monday, saying during a visit to Jordan that Bakhmut has more of a symbolic value than strategic and operational value. Moscow, he added, continues to pour in a lot of ill-trained and ill-equipped troops into Bakhmut, while Ukraine patiently builds combat power elsewhere with Western military support ahead of a possible spring offensive. Even so, some analysts question the wisdom of pressing the Ukrainian defenders to hold out much longer. Others suggest that a tactical withdrawal may already be underway. Michael Kaufman, the director of Russia studies at the Ken think tank in Arlington, Virginia, said Ukraine's defense of Bakhmut has been effective because it has drained the Russian war effort, but that Kiev should now look ahead. The tenacious defense of Bakhmut achieved a great deal, expending Russian manpower and ammunition, Kaufman tweeted late Sunday. But strategies can reach points of diminishing returns, and given Ukraine is trying to husband resources for an offensive, it could impede the success of a more important operation. The Institute for the Study of War, a Washington-based think tank, noted that urban warfare favors the defender but that Kiev's smartest option now may be to withdraw to positions that are easier to defend. In recent days, Ukrainian units destroyed 2 key bridges just outside Bakhmut, including one linking it to Chasiv Yar along the last remaining Ukrainian resupply route, according to UK military intelligence officials and other Western analysts. Demolishing the bridges could slow the Russian offensive. Ukrainian forces are unlikely to withdraw from Bakhmut all at once and may pursue a gradual fighting withdrawal to exhaust Russian forces through continued urban warfare, the ISW said in an assessment published late Sunday. The Bakhmut battle has exposed Russian military shortcomings and bitter divisions. Yevgeny Prigozhin, the millionaire owner of the Wagner Group military company that has spearheaded the Bakhmut offensive, has been at loggerheads with the Russian Defense Ministry and repeatedly accused it of failing to provide his forces with ammunition. On Sunday, he again criticized top military brass for moving slowly to deliver the promised ammunition and questioned whether the delay was caused by red tape or treason. On Monday, Prigozhin warned in a Russian social media post that the situation in Bakhmut will turn out to be a pie. The filling is the parts of the armed forces of Ukraine surrounded by us, in the case, of course, if there is a complete encirclement of Bakhmut, and the shell is, in fact, the Wagner Group. The commander of the Ukrainian land forces, Colonel Alexander Syrsky, noted after visiting Bakhmut that the fight has escalated with the deployment of additional Wagner forces. Ukrainian troops, focused on defending the city's north to prevent its encirclement, have inflicted significant losses to the enemy, destroyed a large amount of equipment, forced the best Wagner assault units to be thrown into battle and reduced the enemy's offensive potential. Bakhmut has taken on almost mythic importance to its defenders. It has become like Mariupol, the port city in the same province that Russia captured last year after an 82-day siege that eventually came down to a mammoth steel mill where determined Ukrainian fighters held out along with civilians. Moscow looked to cement its rule in Mariupol. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu toured some of the city's rebuilt infrastructure, the Defense Ministry reported Monday. Shoigu was shown a newly built hospital, a rescue center and residential buildings, the ministry said. In other developments Monday, Russian forces attacked central and eastern regions of Ukraine with Iranian-made Shahid drones, a spokesman for Ukraine's air forces, Yuri Ilyinat, told Ukrainian media. Of 15 drones Russia launched, 13 were shot down, Ilyinat said. It wasn't immediately clear if the attack caused damage. Russian defenders shot down 3 missiles over Russia's Belgorod region on the border with Ukraine, its governor, Vyacheslav Gladkov, said on Telegram. Debris injured 1 person and damaged power lines and facades of residential buildings, according to the official. Gladkov did not specify whether the missiles were fired from Ukraine. Russia's Federal Security Service, or FSB, reported thwarting an attempt to assassinate nationalist businessman Konstantin Malafyev that was allegedly plotted by Ukrainian security services and the Russian Volunteer Corps that claims to be part of Ukraine's armed forces. According to the FSB, the Russian Volunteer Corps leader Denis Kapustin was the mastermind behind the plan, which was to put a bomb under Malafyev's car. Malafyev is a media baron and owner of the ultra-conservative Tsargrad TV who has supported Russia-backed separatists in Ukraine and has trumpeted Moscow's invasion as a «holy war». He has been sanctioned by the US and last year was charged with trying to evade sanctions. The Russian Volunteer Corps last week claimed responsibility for an attack on Russian villages on the border with Ukraine. The FSB said Monday that Kapustin organized and spearheaded the raid on the villages that killed 2 civilians and wounded 2 others, including a child. The FSB's allegations could not be independently verified. Ukrainian officials have not commented on the claim. My name is Kingsley. Please like, share, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be the first to be notified whenever we post. You won't regret it.